kind of, I guess it's afternoon now, but good morning again.
Good morning again. I like that, Eric. I mean, let's just wake up over again, because this morning we had a great conversation about the things that are happening. But the best part about this is when we are actually having a very up and close and personal conversation with Mayor Pro Tem Billie Orr. Hello, Billie. How are you?
Good afternoon, San Martin, and good afternoon, Eric.
Hey, thank you for being with us today.
Oh, it's nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we know there's a lot of things going on, and I really appreciate you actually stopping by and actually having a conversation with us and basically going over some of the things that have been happening with you and the council, and something that's actually a really praiseworthy, I feel, decision that has been made. So, without us actually talking too much about it, let's go ahead and go into it. We've been working on something. As we say, we as a community, we all have to, vote for this.
Yes.
And if everybody's involved, then that means that everybody is actually happy for the outcome. So let's go ahead and give it to the people and tell them exactly what just happened with this thing called the letter of intent.
Letter of intent, I will refer to it probably as the LOI, is an extra step that we've actually put into the process in talking with the Arizona Eco Development, AED. They are basically the owners of the property in which we've been talking about in the Dells area for 2.5 years. So the LOI is an extra level of transparency. It was basically created by the city in agreement with the developer, AED, Arizona Eco Development, Jason Giese. Michael Lamar was our city manager. The two of them have been working on this tirelessly for many, many months. So the LOI basically establishes the parameters of what we hope to enable us to get to where we want to be with the annexation. So it is a non-binding agreement between the city and Arizona Eco Development, AED. And the beauty of it, San Martin, is that we're actually able to come out with what we hope to be the exact acreage and what he's giving to us in exchange for water. So the wonderful thing is that we are looking at the city, AED conveying to our city, the city will own what they convey to us. It's 745 acres of AED private property. So that breaks down to, in the Dells area, the Granite Dells area, 475 acres of what we've all been talking about for the last 2.5 years. I know when I was campaigning this time last year, we were always talking about the areas that surround the Peavine Trail, the Point of Rocks, the No Name Creek, the riparian forest that is there with the No Name Creek area. I mean, it's absolutely stunning, pristine Granite Dells property that AED is considering conveying. Actually, they've agreed to say that they will convey 475 acres, and we even have on the map. Do you have the map there, San Martin, that we can point to? Can we put that up?
Yes, ma'am. I got you covered right here. You want the south one or do you want the north map?
All right, let's go with the south first.
Okay.
So,
oh, this is this one right here.
at the north. That's the
There
one.
we go.
So if you can scroll down a little bit, so all of the yellow, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, those are residential developments on their property that will be developed. Within those sections, there will be 850 homes max. And then if you go farther south, this is the beautiful area of the Dells. You can see the Iron King Trail, and then the Peavine Trail, where they converge. There is like the Point of Rocks, which is unbelievably beautiful right in there. So all of that will be conveyed to the city. And in the first map and the first annexation proposal that they gave us, very little of that was actually perceived to be in the city. So let's go back to that southern map, up a little bit. I know it's hard to do. Yeah, right there. So if you can see K and L. So San Martin, scroll down just a little bit. Sections K and L, that will be the resorts. And so that will be a high-end, eco-friendly I often think about when we think about this, something like Enchantment in Sedona. So a very high-end resort that will be looking toward the No Name Creek, the riparian forest, the Point of Rocks, and that will be the resort. And previously, there were 5 crossings in the original proposal to go over the Peavine. And as of today, there's only 1 crossing, and that will be to get into that section K and L to get to the resort. But we're going to be working with the developer, AED, to make sure that we, in fact, make it so that the vehicles do not mix it up with the horseback riders, the cyclists, and the hikers and the runners. So we will do our best to make sure that that will be separated. So that's 475 acres. It's absolutely, I mean, I look at what we already have in the Granite Dells. Right now we have 1,350 acres. You combine that with the 475 acres of the best part of the Granite Dells, and it will be, I think, one of the largest Southwest preservations in the United States. So we're very excited about that.
It's amazing.
And that hotel resort will be a destination place for Prescott. So that will help all of the businesses in the city of Prescott.
Do we have an idea of when that resort timeline is, or is it still just kind of it's going to be there, we don't know when yet?
Well, you know what, Eric, I joke with Jason Giese about this. I tell him I want my glass of wine on the deck of that resort, looking at what we've been able to preserve. So I'm hoping within my lifetime. No, I really do feel that will be one of the things that they will move on. Hopefully once we get this deal done, and maybe, hopefully within the next 5 years.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
So,
that brings us, oh, sorry, go ahead, keep going.
I was going to say, are you guys ready to move to the north, or do you have any more questions about the southern?
No, this is actually something that we just, obviously everybody just wants to know, and everybody wants to be happy. And once again, you've had the blessing from the Save the Dells organization, and how's that been with them?
I'll speak to that. So we've actually had the blessings of several stakeholder groups. Certainly Save the Dells, this was one of their primary objectives, but also groups like the Highland Center. There are lots of natural groups out there. It's called Prescott Mountain Bike Association, PMBA. There are lots of groups that spend a lot of time on the trails, and they have all come to the table with us. We've shown this to them. We actually showed this to those groups before we went public, just to say, we want you to know, we appreciate your help, we appreciate your input, and what do you think? And so there was a lot of positive feedback from folks. And so I'm excited about what's in the Granite Dells area, but as excited as we are about that southern area, we are also excited about the northern area. So San Martin, if you could throw the map up on the north, and we'll talk about that. And because this is important because it preserves the area around our airport. So you can see the airport runway, Prescott Regional Airport on the left. And then if you will look at the peak area, that is where that all belongs to Arizona Eco Development. And they're going to convey that to the city so that we can, in fact, protect our airport. That's very important because that could be built on tomorrow. And so that will become a city of Prescott property. And then the yellow, if you see that 131 acres, that acreage will be purchased by the city to protect our airport. And the funds that we will use for that will be funds that we will receive from the FAA, which is like a 90% grant. So we will then get the 131 acres and the 270 acres. And so this is a huge plus for us as far as protecting our airport. So this is all part of the deal. So you combine the 270 acres in the north, the 475 acres in the Dells, and together then you come up with your 745 acres that will be conveyed to the city. So if you scroll down just a little bit, you kind of see that orange section there. All of that area is already annexed into the city. So we don't have to annex that. That is already there. And then that we have said We want that to be at least 60% commercial and 40% residential, because we're also going to provide water to that area. So let's go over to the right and look at section 33. Section 33 is in the county, as is all of this is in the county except for what's there and the yellow and the orange. So section 33 belongs to AED. It is in the county. It may choose to remain in the county, or it may choose to be annexed into the town of PV. It will not be, more than likely, will not, you never say never, right? But probably will not be annexed into the city because of that blue section of land, the state of Arizona, that's in the land trust, right there, state of Arizona land. So that's state land, and because section 33 is not contingent to the city, it cannot be annexed into the city of Prescott. However, it could be annexed into the town of PV. And we are going to provide, we're going to provide water to section 33, and because that is part of this deal. So let's talk about what this is going to cost the city, because I think this is important. Because people always say, so how much are we purchasing this for? Because the city of Prescott has purchased a lot of land in the Dells. We used our open space money. We spent up to $90,000 an acre to buy land in the Dells previously. And so, but this deal will not be a conveyance of money. What we're doing here is we're doing land for water. So we have the water to give AED for these developments so that they can proceed with their development. And so let's talk about how much water we're talking about. Actually, the gross of the water, I'm going to get my numbers right because there's a lot of numbers, 378 acre feet of water that we will be giving to AED. AED came to the table with water. So actually they have quite a bit of water, 375 acre feet of water, and they are going to turn that over to the city. Basically, they are going to convey that to the city. They will retire their rights of this water, and it will become water that we will be able to keep in Watson Lake, because that water is in and around the Watson Lake area. Because when they bought the land that we're talking about, AED's land, when they bought that land, it came with 375 acre feet of water. That's significant. So if you were to think about how much water that is at Watson Lake, it amounts to 2 feet of water on the top of the lake. So think about that. It's important that we get that water.
It's so crazy. It's amazing how everybody has those mathematical equations going on right now. And I was actually a little bit kind of confused with the plus and minus. And I guess it just imagines, I guess the thought is like, if our water table is low, I mean, how does that work? And I know that we've already done the assessment of water, and basically everybody says there's plenty of water. And I obviously, I know you guys care about that. I know you guys care about, our resources. A lot of people from the chatter that we see online, and I say we, as Eric, I'm drawing you into this, but as a chatter I see online, a lot of people want to say, where's the water going to come from? Who's going to go ahead and provide this? Who's going to provide that? And it's good to see this type of interaction with you, and also the officials that are helping to preserve the natural resources of Prescott. But with that being said, keep talking about the water scenario.
Water, San Martin, because right now on that 475 acres that are being conveyed, all of the 745 acres actually, I can tell you tomorrow he could drill a well and take from the same aquifer, the exact same aquifer of the water which we are giving him. So we are on the Little Chino aquifer. So the water that we are giving to Jason will be coming from the Little Chino. But the plus of what we're doing is now, rather than that just going into a septic system and going into runoff, polluting our lakes, polluting our creeks, this water now will be recharged back into our system, because they will have to connect to city water and to city sewer. And as a result of that, we will not have the problems that we have with wells and septics in these parcels of land. So that's a real plus. And all of it will get, well, all of it, 90% of our new homes, 90% of the water that we give to our new homes it's coming back to our recharge system, and we will commit that to recharge. And also, they have to abide by all the city rules on water, the zero-scape landscaping. They're not going to be able to use any of this for any type of agriculture. It will have to be for residential. In that one section I showed you, it would have to be used for 60% commercial. So, we made changes in our water policy over the last year, excuse me, to do the best that we could to ensure conservation of our water. And this is part of that change. Just recently, we made the change that we could do an IGA with another government entity. We made that agreement with Chino Valley so that they could have commercial development along 89. So we are able to do an IGA with the county or with the town of Prescott Valley in order to furnish this water. So the other part of this is that they will pay 30%. They will put in all of the infrastructure, so AED is responsible for all of the infrastructure to receive the water and to get the water back to us. In addition, they will pay 30% for their water on top of everything else. So
Wow.
it's a very good deal for the city. Go ahead, Tim.
You're saying the residents are going to pay 30% more for their water than?
No, well, the AED. So if AED develops property and somebody buys a house, then part of what they will be doing is that they will be paying 30% for our water service that we give them. Right now, Chino Valley does that because we provide water to the town of Chino Valley. And those residents pay an additional 30% for our water service. So yes, Eric, so the people that are building homes in this area, in the northern area or the southern area, they will be paying an extra 30%. The resort will pay 30% for that water. So the resort will also pay.
I was one of the people that were on the fence with the water thing growing up in Arizona. They've
Right.
about water for years and conservation, but understanding the septic and the well situation and that this is going to go back into the aquifer cleanly,
Right.
it sounds like a pretty good deal.
It is a very good deal, and it really is the best thing to do for conservation of water. Otherwise, people on wells, they just don't pay as, people say you're wrong, we pay as much attention, but I know if you're paying for water, you're gonna pay a lot more attention to what you're using than if you aren't paying for it. So it's a very good deal. 475 acres in the Granite Dells, the best acreage in the Granite Dells. I will tell you, I am absolutely stoked about it.
I think we found a new residence of the Dells layout.
I'm telling you, I will go anywhere and talk about this with anybody. And, but it's not a done deal. I need to say that. This is a non-binding LOI. It's but it's a parameters. It's the fence here and the fence there and the fence here and the fence over there. But, so we have to stay within this. But we still need a supermajority of council to approve an annexation. And we will still go through all of the Prop 400. There will be 60 days of public comment. There's a lot that still has to be done. But I think if we can come to agreement that we give this, we get that, I think it's a sweet deal for the city.
So, so give us an idea. I know that there's a vote coming up for the LOI. If you want to we're almost out of time, so I just want to make sure you roll out the timeline for everybody to know here.
Absolutely. So there will be a study session, and it will be next Tuesday. I believe it's starting at 1. I'll have to get back to you on that, but I believe it starts at 1. And then at 3 o'clock, we will have a voting session, at which time we will vote on whether or not we approve the LOI. Again, we still have to go through all of the Prop 400 requirements. He still has to do a lot of different studies, archaeological studies, traffic study, all of those things still have to be put into play. So we're probably looking at a good year before everything is kind of done. But I hope we can get through the annexation and P&Z by the end of the year. That would be my goal, to get through P&Z by the end of the year so they can move ahead and we can get this process started, because I would love to get that 475 acres as soon as possible, and also the land around the airport, because that will help us with extending that runway. So those are all important things for us to get done as soon as possible.
Oh, amazing, amazing. I really, once again, appreciate everything that you have done. I appreciate the council and everybody that has worked hard on that. I know Mr. Lamar has been working, endlessly as the letter of intent that has been placed. You guys can read that all if you go to the PrescottTimes.com. And you know what? I mean, it's awesome to go ahead and see our city officials be able to sit down with good old Prescott Times and Eric and myself. I really do appreciate that. Thank you for taking your time, and also through our lunch period. I mean, I know that you got to eat at some point in time yourself, so thank you so very much. And tell your office thank you for getting this opportunity for me.
Well, and I want to wish you both the best of luck with what you're doing, and appreciate the opportunity to communicate. I'm here all the time. San Martin, you've got my cell phone number, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I put that out. I mean, literally, I put it out everywhere. So anybody wanted to give me a call about this, I'm happy to talk with them.
Yeah, and that's the best part about, the city of Prescott. If you guys have a question, you are more than welcome. So needless to say, the door is open for anybody. So if you guys have questions, ask the questions.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Billie, Mayor Pro Tem. And I think that's a great sign off. And I hope to God that you guys have a blessed day. And you know what? Don't forget to be indoors never mind. That doesn't apply to you. Sorry.
This is Prescott, right?
Yes, this is Prescott, everybody's hometown. This is where we could actually live and be at peace. So thank you once again. And I hope to see you around. And I'll see you at those events that are happening soon. Thank God.
Great. Good to see you, Eric. Thank you so